With the Scarlet and Violet era coming to a close in the next few months, I thought it'd be a fun idea to make a tier list ranking every single Scarlet and Violet booster box, or if it's a specialty set, the ETB, on a tier list based on how investable the set is, if it's something you shouldn't even bother investing in, or if it's something that I think is going to go to the moon in the next few months. Of course, we're going to be looking at the market price right now, May 2025. Prices are all over the place right now. I think some of these sets that have just came out, like Journey Together, Destined Rivals, that's right around the corner, I think they're going to be going down before they're going up. So we'll keep that in mind when ranking these sets. And that being said, let's go ahead and start straight off with some sets that I think are a little too volatile, that will be going down, that I personally don't think are great investments right now. We'll start with the newest stuff, Black Bolt, White Flare. Those aren't even out yet. I've got separate ETBs for each just because, I don't know, maybe one will be more popular than the other. Realistically, I don't think so. It's really going to depend what illustration rares are in what set, which SIRs are in which. Whatever one has the more popular SIR, the more expensive SIR, is going to be the more expensive product. With these, I think, of course, if you can get them at MSRP or below, they're going to go to the moon. Will that happen anytime soon? I highly doubt it. We're going to put them right in middle of the road, considering they're not out yet. Of course, you can pre-order them. Pokemon Center already did PC ETB pre-orders, at least that first wave last week. I do think if you can get in there at MSRP or below, these are no-brainers. They're going to go to the moon. It's the Unova's region of 151. Everyone loves Gen 5, Black and White. At least it seems to be one of the more popular generations. There's a lot of fans out there for this region, so I think they'll be great. But again, considering they're not out yet, we're just going to leave them in the middle of the road. Destined Rivals, I'm going to put in could be worse. That's like our D tier. It's not a bad investment by any means, but if you're buying it at the current market price, I think it's a mistake. I have a feeling this is going to go down quite a lot over the course of 2025, and I think you'll be able to pick it up way cheaper than what it's going for. Right now, pre-order market price seems to be about 270 USD. Again, I think that's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know if it's really worth that price. I'm sure people are going to want to pick it up. It looks like it's going to be an amazing set, and long term, you're going to make your money back. I wouldn't worry about it. Look at sets like Fusion Strike right now, but you will be able to get it cheaper, and that's why I'm going to put it right here at could be worse. We're going to go with a Journey Together next. $200 for a Journey Together booster box. Is it worth it? Again, I think this one's going to go down in price a lot over the course of the year, even into 2026. I think I wouldn't even bother with it at this price right now, honestly. The singles have dropped pretty significantly. All the product across the board with Journey Together has dropped a lot right now. I don't think, if you had to buy something right now, May 2025, I would not touch this set. There are way better investments to make. Same with Destined Rivals. Don't bother picking it up right now. I think there are other options that are going to be safe bets. And we'll go with another set from 2025. Just get all these new sets out of the way. Prismatic Evolutions. Of course, all these sets have been drastically affected by low supply and are planned to be reprinted pretty significantly through the course of the next couple of years. Right now, $120 for the ETB. Obviously, that's a little bit more expensive than you would want to pay for a brand new set, but again, this is 5 months old now. It's been out for a while, even though a lot of people still haven't had a chance to pick it up. I think if you're patient with Prismatic Evolutions, especially with the ETBs, you're going to have other chances to pick them up. Right now, the price is not right for me. I'm picking them up again if you see them at MSRP. Maybe I'll put it at middle of the road. If you find it at MSRP or below, definitely scoop it up. Can't go wrong. But if you're picking it up at market price, definitely not worth it. I think it's going to go down before it goes up. Now let's skip back to the very beginning of it all. Scarlet Violet base set. Scarlet Violet base is very safe from a reprint in my opinion. I don't see a world where there's going to be more booster boxes hitting the market. Just whatever's out there, whatever distribution might have sitting around could still get, trickled out to LGS stores. It's only $200 right now. Of course, like a year ago, you could get this sub $100, but being $200, having really good pull rates, kind of the introduction to the generation, all the legendaries with Miraidon and Koraidon. You've also got that Gardevoir illustration line, which is really nice. People have loved that ever since it got released. There are some really good illustration rares, a couple good special illustration rares. Of course, nothing that's like extremely valuable in this set, but over time, I think it's going to do really well. $200, I think is okay. Honestly, I'm going to put it middle of the road above all these other ones here. Maybe not the set I would pick up, but I think the price point is pretty good and you could see returns. I really doubt it's going to go down too much, if it goes down much at all. Next up, we've got Paldea Evolved coming up at about $260 USD for a booster box. This set has spiked up a lot over the last 6 months. A year ago, you could get it for $130. Right now, double that at $260. Very similar to what Scarlet and Violet's holding. It went from like $100 to $200. Pretty well the same thing here, $130 to $260, doubled in price. I think this set is quite a bit stronger though. Of course, it's got the Magikarp, it's got the Iono SIR, very popular card and a very hyped up card when it was released. You've also got illustration rare lines of Quaxly, Sprigatito, and Fuecoco, the Gen 9 starters, along with the Treasure of Ruin legendaries. Big fan of the Chi-Yu personally. I think that is one of the best cards in this set. Paldea Evolved at $260 though. Again, I think this is very safe. I don't really see it dropping too much. It could drop back down to like $200. Will it be reprinted though? Highly, highly doubt it. And for that, I think you cannot go wrong with Paldea Evolved. If we recorded this time last year, which I mean, I was talking about a lot, Paldea Evolved was a no-brainer back then. I would have put it to the moon. It probably would have been the best set to invest in. And if you did, you doubled your money. Will it double again in the next calendar year? Will it be going for whatever that is going to be, like $500? I highly doubt it. I could see it going over 300 by the end of 2025 though. And for that, you can't go wrong. I think this is a strong set with a lot going for it. And I don't really think more will be on the market. So I doubt the price will be affected too much, other than, if there's a dip in popularity with the hobby. Next up, we've got Obsidian Flames. Of course, being a Charizard set, it has a little bit of a premium. A year ago, they were $100. Right now, $220. So again, it's 2x'd over the last year. But will it be $440 this time next year? I highly doubt it. Again, there are better sets that are out there. If you like Charizard, this is a really nice one. But there are multiple Charizards in the Scarlet and Violet generation. So you don't really need to be stuck on Obsidian Flames to get the Charizard. At this price, $220, I think it's a little bit harder of a sell. And like I just said, it's a smaller set. Like Paldea Evolved is double what this one is. There's a lot more variety there. There are way more illustration rares, and all of them are better than the ones in Obsidian Flames. With that being said, I do think I'm going to put it in Can't Go Wrong. It's a safe set to bet on. I don't think it's really going to dip down too much. If it does dip down, again, I'm pretty sure this would be safe from reprints. I'd look at everything pre-Paldean Fates as safe from reprints at this point. There is a lot of like loose packs in these collection boxes, as I've seen. Pretty much every collection box I buy has Obsidian Flames packs in it. But that's not really that bad. It's kind of nice to just have the chance to hit a Charizard randomly thrown in to whatever collection box product you're picking up. And I think there will be a day where people look back at this set and go, damn, that was cool. The Terra-type Dark Charizard is very cool, and they might want to pick it up. Again, there are other Charizard sets, so if this isn't the one for you, that's okay. But part of me feels like there's potential here in the future. I don't know how, but I forgot to add 151 to this list. We've got it in here now. 151 Elite Trainer boxes going for $214. Honestly, pretty expensive for what it is, but this product was not nearly as available. 151 got extremely popular like pretty much a year after release. It was really popular on release, but there was that resurgence of Pokemon popularity, I guess, Pokemon TCG popularity, and everyone wanted 151, but the ETBs haven't really been restocked. They haven't been around. I think this is realistically the cheapest you're going to find it for. Maybe you could get a deal of $200 for it, but this is strong. It's been steadily going up pretty well ever since it released. A year ago, it was $60, so it's a hard sell going for $215 now. But again, I don't really see this one dipping much. You might see it hit like 200, but going below sub 200, I don't know. I feel like this is another one you can't go wrong with. I might even say to the moon. I think it's a little bit more of a risky purchase. Well, maybe not even a risky purchase, but you could buy a lot more for $215, in most cases. Not in today's market, but typically you could buy like 2 booster boxes or like 4 or 5 ETBs for this price. But now with 151 going on 2 years old, I don't really see this one slowing down. I think it's going to be one of the greatest sets of the modern generation. And it's kind of a no-brainer. Picking up 151 is just, you're going to see returns on, basically whatever price you pay. It's going to be similar to Evolving Skies. People thought you were crazy buying Evolving Skies booster boxes at $1,000, and now, not even a year later, they're hitting $2,000 sales. 151 is going to be the same. This is going to be one of those ETBs that just goes to the moon, which is why it's going right here at the very top of the tier list. Next up is Paradox Rift. A lot of people like to talk about Paradox Rift. A lot of people know it's a good investment, but I also feel like a lot of people aren't making the investment. They were sub $100 not that long ago, going for about 200 right now. So the same price as SV base. I do think this is a better set than SV base. I even think this is a better set than Obsidian Flames. Of course, your big card in this one is the Groudon. You've also got an Altaria. You've got Roaring Moon. You've got Iron Valiant. It's the introduction of those Paradox Pokemon, which might be a hit, might be a miss. We'll have to see down the line. If you're looking way future, like in 15 years or something, the kids of today might look back at this and be like, yo, Roaring Moon is my all-time favorite Pokemon. It was the coolest Pokemon in the game that got me into Pokemon, being Scarlet and Violet. So having that Roaring Moon chase might be huge for some people. Of course, that is way in the future. I don't know if anyone plans on holding their Paradox Rift booster boxes for 15 years. But regardless, if it's 2 years or 15 years, you're going to see returns. Will it keep going up, and how fast will it go up? I don't know. Again, I think this is kind of that iffy point. Could they reprint Paradox Rift? They very well could. Will they? I highly doubt it. And honestly, at $200, I think it's a great pickup. I don't know if it's as good of a pickup as something like 151. I do think it is a better pickup than Obsidian Flames at this price, but better than Paldea Evolved. $60 more for Paldea Evolved. I don't know. I think Paldea Evolved is still a better pickup. People love Magikarp. That Magikarp card is going to be iconic for the illustration rare generation, but the Groudon will be as well. Next up, we have Paldean Fates. I'm very surprised with Paldean Fates, honestly. I thought it was going to have more of a showing similar to what Shining Fates had. I was not confident these boxes were going to be going for $140 right now. A year ago, they were $40, so they're up $100 in the last year. Of course, special illustration rare shiny Pokemon is huge. That's huge for the hobby. You only got 3 of them, though. You had the Mew, the Gardevoir, and the Charizard. Very great choices, and that Bubble Mew has been iconic. Like, people have been in love with that card for the last 6 months, probably even longer, but it flew under the radar for the first little bit of this set being out. All that being said, $140 for a Paldean Fates ETB. I'd probably spend the extra $80 and just go ahead and grab a 151 box, but there's definitely potential. Like I said, the chase for that shiny Charizard, the chase for the Bubble Mew, the Gardevoir, kind of slept on. The Gardevoir is the best in my opinion, but the chase for that Bubble Mew is going to kind of incline people to open this up long term. They're going to be wanting to open it up for that chance. There are also a lot of baby shinies, which people do like. I think they could have done a lot more with this set, but you know, it is a specialty set. Will they reprint the ETBs? I highly doubt it. The booster bundles, that's a different story. ETB, I feel like, I said this before, I think in the Scarlet and Violet era, we're going to see a little bit less in terms of like the ETB reprints and more in the booster bundle category. I do think I'd rather buy this than a Scarlet and Violet base booster box. Or would I? Realistically, the SV base booster box is only $40 more. I don't know. It's Paldean Fates. Like, there's fans. People are going to like this. People love opening these Fates sets, these shiny sets. I think it's still up there. It's probably better than Charizard set to me. We'll keep it right there. That's all right there. Obviously, you can't go wrong. With a lot of these, you can't go wrong. I just don't know. I feel like this is one that could go down before it goes up. And the same situation here with Temporal Forces. I think Temporal Forces is a little bit sketchy. Of course, this one is really dependent on if people like the Paradox Pokemon. You've got Paradox Pokemon of like, what is it, the 3 deer Pokemon from Gen 4 and the 3 dogs from Johto, or cats, whatever you want to go with. It also has the Ghastly IR, which is really nice. It has Morty's Conviction SIR with the Gengar on it, which people were really hyped on when that first released. $200 for this box. I feel like I'd rather buy Paradox Rift. Personally, I'd rather buy Obsidian Flames, but maybe Temporal Forces just isn't for me. Typically when I make these types of videos, everyone's telling me in the comments Temporal Forces is slept on. It's a great set. I just think there's a specific market for it. I feel like there's certain fans that are going to like this set more than something like, you know, Paldea Evolved, for example. As well, I do feel like this one could be reprinted. This is kind of where I feel like Pokemon started printing less because, you know, SV base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames weren't selling that well, and they realized it a year later with Temporal Forces. They printed a little bit less. At least that's what I think. And then, of course, everyone went crazy. And the reason this is expensive is because people can't buy anything, so they're willing to just buy whatever's available, and this was available. I think I'd put it in middle of the road. Honestly, behind SV base, in my opinion. Yeah, there's some really cool artwork there. The cards are really cool. Does it belong there? Yeah, you know what? I do think there's a chance it'll go down in value. I don't think I have any sealed product of Temporal Forces. I might come to regret that in the future. But honestly, I just feel like there's better sets out there. It's not bad by any means, but it's not that great either. Now we've got Twilight Masquerade, $226. This one has been on a steady incline ever since it released about a year ago as I'm recording this actually. Of course, it's got the Big Chase and that Greninja card. It's also got the Eevee illustration rare. Both of those cards I think are going to be very important to the long-term success of Twilight Masquerade. Most of the set other than those two cards is pretty mid. There isn't really anything too amazing that stands out, and honestly, I can't really think of another card other than what's on the cover of this booster box here, the Ursaluna and the Ogre Pawns. But having the Greninja in there amongst a bunch of junk SIRs is going to make people want to rip these. It's going to be a sketchy product to pick up and rip open to try to chase that card. But long term, people like that with Evolving Skies, right? Like you might open that box and pull nothing. With this box, same situation, but if you pull that Greninja, just like if you pull one of those Evolutions, it's going to make your day. And at this price, $226, I think it'll go down. I think this is one you want to keep an eye on and maybe pick up in the near future here. I just picked one up recently, but I don't think it's a box I'm going to be holding long term. I kind of bought it with the idea of having the packs available for sale when I do vending shows or when I do my live streams here on YouTube. That being said, I still think it's good. I think it's a pretty good investment. With the harder pull rates, I think it makes it stronger than Obsidian Flames and Paldean Fates. I think that Greninja is going to be one of the most iconic special illustration rares of the generation. Of course, there are a ton of really nice SIRs now, but that Greninja was the first one that really kind of like broke the scale. It came out the gate expensive and people were kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. And it just kept on going up. It started going down now, but still long term, I think it's going to be a good one. Next up, you got Shrouded Fable at $56 for an ETB. I don't think there's really a point in picking this up. Like, it's probably your cheapest product to grab, but there are better products from Shrouded Fable. I'd be grabbing the Greninjas or the Kingdra EX boxes. This one, I'm going to put in could be worse. You will make your money back on it, but it's going to be similar to like a Pokemon Go. It's not, you're not going to see massive returns. This isn't going to be like a $200 ETB anytime soon, if ever. Now, it seems like the going rate for every booster box is $200 because you got Stellar Crown as well, sitting right there at $200. I don't think this is a great set. Realistically, it's the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle that's giving it value. I'm not a big fan. I'd rather just pick up those cards. I feel like those are cards that are worth investing in rather than sealed Stellar Crown. In terms of SIRs, there's nothing that really stands out to me other than the Dock-Spun. I love that card. Picked one up while it was cheap again. It's like $40 SIR. Why would you buy the booster box or why would you crack packs trying to get that chase card? I don't know. And at $200, honestly, this is worse than Temporal Forces in my opinion. I'd grab Temporal Forces. Definitely. Honestly, I'm going to put it down here. I'd grab Prismatic Evolutions at market price before I grabbed Stellar Crown. That's for sure. And lastly, we've got Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks is on the decline finally. It capped out at about $265. But is now going for about $236. I think it's going to continue going down, and I think, maybe in 6 months is going to be the time to pick it up. I wouldn't pick it up right now, but you could throw it up there and can't go wrong. I think it's going to be better than quite a few of these sets. Maybe I'll keep it at the bottom. I can't go wrong for now because the price is still more than I'd want to pay. But I'd expect this to go below $200 sometime over the course of the summer, maybe going into fall. And if this goes below $200, I think it's a pretty good pickup. The Pikachu is really nice. Of course, the Latios. There are a bunch of really good special illustration rares in it. A bunch of really good illustration rares as well. But when products drop drastically in value and everyone starts selling off their investments because they think it's never going to go back up, that's when you want to pick it up. Right now, I'm kind of waiting. I'm in the bush. I'm watching the Pokemon market and I'm waiting to make a big move on it. I feel like going into the end of 2025 is going to be the best time to be picking up some of these 2024 Scarlet and Violet sets. And then 2026, you're probably going to be seeing good deals on stuff like Journey Together and Destined Rivals. So yeah, there's our little tier list here. Maybe I'll modify this slightly based on if I think the price is going to go up or down. Surging Sparks, This is okay. So right now you see this. This is May 2025. I think 151 is the best. Paldea Evolved, I think, is smart. Paradox is really smart. Paradox may be above Paldea Evolved. Can I move these? There we go. Paradox, honestly, I'd put to the moon. 200 bucks. I think you'll make at least a $50 return in the next 6 months on that product. I don't think much is going to get reprinted. Even if it goes down, it's not going to go down for long. It's going to bounce back up and stay strong. I do think Paldea Evolved can stay right there. Honestly, I kind of want to move Surging Sparks up a bit. Again, I think it's going down. I wouldn't buy it today, May 12th, but maybe, July 26th, there's a random day. That might be worth picking up then. If there's another wave of booster boxes, that's probably when you want to be looking to pick it up. Just be patient with it. Same with Twilight. Twilight is going to go down before it goes up. At least I'm pretty sure of it. I did grab one just in case. I think everything else is pretty good. Like Temporal Forces might be a good one. I don't know. Should we switch? Basically everything is good. If you look at the Sword and Shield market, like you can't go wrong with picking up anything sealed right now. But yeah, like Journey Together, you're not going to want to pounce on Journey Together for another 6 months to a year, I think. Same with Destined Rivals. Shrouded Fable, I mean, you could, but I don't think realistically you're going to do much with Shrouded Fable over the next year. Stellar Crown could drop more, but again, I think it's going to be one of the weakest Scarlet and Violet sets. If you're holding booster boxes of it, it might do good. It could do good, but I think it's going to be weaker. I think you're going to see prices, or at least price shifts, similar to that first block, maybe even like a Battle Styles from the Sword and Shield era. Prismatic, like when it goes down, if it goes down, that's not going to be for a while. I think Prismatic, if you give it another 6 months, give it another year, I'm still not super eager on it unless PokeNotify is hooking me up with like a really good notification and I can get in there on the Pokemon Center before the queue starts. Then I'm picking it up. But now that they're limiting me to like 2 booster bundles in order, it's like, how much are you realistically going to be getting of it? Definitely not going to GameStop at 4 a.m. to line up and try to get some. The Unova stuff, Black Bolt, White Flare, I think they just belong right there in the middle because we don't know enough about it yet. They're going to be very, very strong though. They're probably going to be up there with like a 151 in terms of long-term value with that many illustration rares, with Pokeballs, with Master Balls. I feel like they're building it up to be the perfect Pokemon card set. But we'll just see. If it's going to be the capped set, like the last set of the SV era, maybe it's going to be like Crown Zenith, and they're going to have really good pull rates. They're going to be getting an illustration rare, like 1 in 4 packs or something like that. If that's the case, I think it's going to be like an S tier, better than 151 investment. I would pick up cases of it, and I don't know. You could almost gamble half your collection and just go all in on those, and they'll do great, just like Crown Zenith, I'm sure. SV base, it's going to go up again. It might be similar to something like a Battle Styles where it's weak, but it continues to grow. Maybe like the worst of the best kind of situation. Obsidian Flames, again, that's all dependent on if people like that Terra Charizard, which it seems like people don't for the most part. I think we're good here. Paldean Fates, the same thing. It's got its market. If you like shiny Pokemon, that's going to be an amazing investment. Or if you're confident in shiny Pokemon, I just feel like there's better stuff out there, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tier list. This is something I like to do every once in a while. It's kind of fun to just sit down here and like ramble on about my thoughts on certain products or certain sets or whatever it is. If you like this video and you want to see one on Sword and Shield booster boxes in May 2025, let me know in the comments below and I can make that happen. And while you're leaving a comment, you should hit that like button and also subscribe so you don't miss a video. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.